Hello, my friends. Today, I am taking you on an unforgettable journey back more than 2,000 years to a world of power, ambition, love, betrayal, and war. This is not just a history lesson. This is the story of a young girl who refused to be ordinary, a queen who challenged the greatest empire on earth, and a woman whose name still echoes through time. This is the incredible story of Cleopatra, the last queen of ancient Egypt. In 69 BCE, in the magnificent city of Alexandria, a baby girl was born into the royal Ptolemaic family. Her name was Cleopatra VII. Although her family was originally Greek, they ruled over Egypt after the death of Alexander the Great. From the very beginning, Cleopatra was different from other royal children. While others enjoyed luxury and entertainment, she focused on learning. She studied languages and became fluent in Greek, Egyptian, and several others. She learned about science, mathematics, politics, and philosophy. She understood something very important at a young age. Knowledge is power. Life inside the royal palace was not safe. The royal family was full of tension, jealousy, and secret plots. Brothers and sisters often fought for the throne. Trust was rare. Cleopatra grew up knowing that if she wanted to survive, she had to be smarter and stronger than everyone around her. When she was just 18 years old, her father died and left the throne to Cleopatra and her younger brother Ptolemy XIII, who was only 10 years old. In ancient Egypt, it was common for siblings to rule together. But Cleopatra did not want to be controlled. She was educated, confident, and ready to lead. However, her brother's advisors feared her intelligence and influence. They wanted control over Egypt, and a strong woman was a threat to them. Soon, Cleopatra was forced to leave the palace and escape into the desert. Imagine the Queen of Egypt, alone and without an army, wandering in the heat, separated from her throne. But Cleopatra was not weak. Instead of giving up, she began planning her return. Around this time, one of the most powerful men in the world arrived in Egypt, Julius Caesar of Rome. Cleopatra saw an opportunity. She knew she needed a powerful ally if she wanted to reclaim her throne. Because her enemies were watching her closely, she could not simply walk into the palace. So she made one of the boldest moves in history. She had herself wrapped inside a large carpet and secretly delivered to Caesar's quarters. When the carpet was unrolled, Cleopatra stepped out with confidence and calm strength. Caesar was surprised and impressed. She did not beg for help. She spoke with intelligence and passion about her vision for Egypt. Caesar saw her brilliance and ambition. Together they defeated her brother's forces, and Cleopatra was restored to the throne. Their partnership soon became more than political. Cleopatra and Caesar formed a close bond, and she later gave birth to a son named Caesarion. Cleopatra dreamed that one day her son would unite Egypt and Rome into a powerful empire. She even traveled to Rome, where people were fascinated by her beauty, intelligence, and exotic style. But not everyone trusted her. Many Roman senators feared Caesar's growing power and disliked his connection with a foreign queen. In 44 BCE, Julius Caesar was assassinated in the Roman Senate. His death shocked the world. Cleopatra lost her strongest protector and quickly realized that Rome was no longer safe for her. She returned to Egypt and focused on strengthening her kingdom, protecting her son, and preparing for whatever challenges might come next. After Caesar's death, Rome fell into chaos. Three powerful men formed an alliance to control the empire, and one of them was Mark Antony. He was a brave and charismatic military leader. Antony summoned Cleopatra to meet him, wanting Egypt's support. Cleopatra once again made a dramatic entrance. She sailed to meet him on a magnificent ship with purple sails and golden decorations, presenting herself like a living goddess. The air was filled with perfume and music. Antony was captivated. But their relationship was not only about romance, it was also about power and strategy. Antony needed Egypt's wealth for his military campaigns, and Cleopatra needed Rome's protection. Over time, their bond grew deeper. They fell in love and had 3 children together. Together, they dreamed of building a powerful empire that would rival Rome itself. However, Antony's alliance with Cleopatra angered Octavian, another Roman leader, and Caesar's adopted son. Octavian spread rumors that Cleopatra had bewitched Antony and was trying to control Rome. Tension grew between the two sides, and eventually war became unavoidable. In 31 BCE, Cleopatra and Antony faced Octavian in the famous Battle of Actium. Ships filled the sea, soldiers prepared for combat, and the future of Egypt was at stake. Despite their determination, Octavian's forces were stronger and better organized. During the battle, Cleopatra's fleet retreated. Antony misunderstood the situation, thinking he had been abandoned. Their forces collapsed, and defeat became certain. Octavian's army advanced toward Egypt. Antony, heartbroken and believing Cleopatra was dead, chose to end his own life. However, Cleopatra was still alive. He was brought to her, and he died in her arms. Now alone, Cleopatra knew that Octavian would capture her and parade her through Rome as a symbol of victory. But Cleopatra refused to be humiliated. She had lived her life on her own terms, and she would end it the same way. Dressed in her royal robes and crown, surrounded by symbols of her power, Cleopatra chose her fate. According to legend, she allowed a poisonous snake, known as an asp, to bite her. In 30 BCE, Cleopatra died, and with her death, the independence of ancient Egypt came to an end. Egypt became part of the Roman Empire, yet her story did not die. Cleopatra was not simply a beautiful queen, as some legends suggest. She was intelligent, strategic, multilingual, and politically brilliant. She stood against the most powerful empire in the world and fought to protect her country. More than 2,000 years later, we still remember her name. That is true legacy. Cleopatra's life teaches us that strength is not only about armies and wealth. It is about courage, intelligence, and believing in yourself even when the world stands against you. She faced betrayal, war, and loss, but she never allowed fear to control her destiny, and that is why she remains one of the most unforgettable women in history.